and welcome to the Portent Kast. My name is Lila. I'm your dungeon keeper and host. The Portent Kast is a queer, female, and non-binary actual play show where we'll be playing TTRPGs of all sorts, and you are tuning into episode 5 of the newest season, A Parlous Voyage. You can keep updated with the podcast and anything we do, TTRPGs, by following us over on Twitter at the Portent Kast, and watch episode clips both here on YouTube Shorts and on TikTok. And if you want to keep updated with episodes of the Portent Kast, go ahead and hit that subscribe button below. But without further ado, let's introduce a new cast member.
Hi, I'm Helen. I use she, her pronouns. And I've been playing D&D for like 3-ish years on and off, and I'm very excited to dive into a pirate-themed game.
Yes. So, without further ado, let's set sail into this episode of A Parlous Voyage. On a mission to find the next clue to Ragnar's lost treasure, the crew of the Saber sailed to the Shawheller Trench. There, they plunged into the depths of the Shalaran Seas, where we saw our pirate crew fought against different fish-like humanoid priests and their shark fleets. They investigated the area to find treasures, as well as a strange mechanical and arcane sphere that transported Marin, Talara's companion, to an unknown location. The party then split, Talara and Vernon heading towards the Saber, while the rest of the crew stayed to investigate until the area was pilfered. Once Vernon and Talara had made it to the surface, they were met with a cannon explosion as another pirate ship fired at the Saber. But we don't pick up our story there. Instead, we begin 10 months earlier, in the middle of the Shalaran Sea, aboard the deck of the Purple Curtain mercantile ship heading toward Galrock, a small port city within the Ashador Isles. The day was bright and warm, but somewhere along the line the clouds began to roll in, and the air grew muggy and cold before the storm hit. Water pounding against the sides of the ship, seeping onto the deck, soaking your boots. The rain stinging against your skin as the boat rocks from side to side against the tall waves. You can barely hear the crew of the ship yelling across the sound of thunder. You hold tightly to some of the rigging in hopes that you won't fly overboard when the boat crashes into the water as it begins to climb another tall wave. You squint your eyes as to look out at the waves, but before you can spot a way out of the storm, you see different bolts of lightning strike the deck, fire erupting from its almost targeted attack. You hear a distant voice yell over the storm, "Calm the flames before the entire ship explodes!" You see a few crew members clamber to douse the flames, and just as you think everything is beginning to settle, you feel the boat jolt portside, and almost everyone on board is sent flying towards the rails. And I would like you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh god, the very first one. Okay. not good. That's a 13.
You feel as gravity takes force, pulling you overboard. The jolt and power behind the wave that pushes the ship makes you lose your grip against the slippery rope. Your body jolts with the ship and causes you to go airborne. Time almost slows as you can barely hear the muffled screams of the crew as you see a few have been thrown overboard, the others holding tightly to the railings. You watch as the deck of the ship slowly moves out from underneath you, and you scream in hopes for help in this dire moment. The rigging whips outwards, and you feel your arm extend without thinking, and your hand grips for dear life onto the rope as you dangle over the open ocean. You hold onto the rigging of the ship, time regaining its normal pace. You feel your heartbeat is faster than ever, almost pounding against your chest. As you pull closer towards the rigging, entangling yourself into it, you look at the waves around you and you see something moving through the water. A dozen bony-like protrusions that look to be about the size of a small homestead before they sink back into the waves. The force behind this creature's movement causes the ship to jolt again to the opposite side. And as it does, you feel yourself slam quickly into the side of the ship. You feel your breath escape your lungs, leaving you gasping for air as you struggle to hold on. Your free hand grabs for your neck, trying to breathe. But before you can regain that breath, you feel the boat jolt once more, and you look towards the bow of the ship just as you see it splintering from the stern, as whatever this creature is taking it into the depths of the ocean. You realize now that you cannot hear what's going on around you. You can only hear loud ringing. What do you do, Nerissa, as you dangle from the side of a sinking ship, as flames continue to erupt near the deck, and you have barely regained control of your breath?
Oh my god! Okay. Seeing that the boat, seeing all of it, that the boat is going down and I am tangled in this rigging, probably not gonna want to stay tangled against a sinking ship. That sounds like a bad idea. So she's gonna try and wrestle a dagger out from her belt so she can, cut herself out and be free of it.
Yeah, you're able to quickly do that, and you begin cutting the rope as you can feel yourself moving closer and closer to the waves. And as you're cutting the rope, you can see another tall wave hit and slam into that side of the boat that you're attached to, and you almost inhale some of the briny water and spit it back out as the wave calms. And just as you think... I'm just kidding.
I was ready for it. I'm like, all right, what am I rolling?
You're good.
If I gotta make death saves in this, I'll do it.
The wave calms, and just then you get yourself from the rigging. Do you dive into the ocean?
Yeah.
Okay. Neither place is safe right now, but somehow that feels safer. You dive into the waves, knowing this could be your only chance to escape from whatever is attacking this boat. You feel the almost boiling water wrap around you as you begin to swim away. At any other time, you would think that would be weird, but right now you're fighting to swim away so that you can survive. You move towards the surface of the water, and just as you do, you hear a loud explosion behind you. You look towards where the wreckage of this ship is, the explosion pushing hot air into your face. But as you look at the now wrecked ship, you can barely see it between the tall ocean waves that keep pushing you below the surface water, briefly filling your lungs with ocean brine as you keep trying to catch your breath as you break the surface every few seconds. As you begin to feel the beating of the ruthless Shalaran seas, what do you do?
Oh god, this is so stressful. I'm immediately clammy hands. What am I gonna do? That's a good question. What am I gonna do? I guess just try to get as far away from the ship as I can, because I know that there's something under there, and I don't want to be near it.
Okay. Your body is sore from hitting the side of the ship and the wave's immense power as it continues to slam into your form, but you're able to catch enough of a breath before you dive below the surface. You push your body deeper into the ocean, continuing to swim away from the burning wreckage that once was the Purple Curtain mercantile ship. But as you continue to swim, you can feel yourself losing air, your head getting lighter, as you have spent who knows how long beneath the waves trying to escape. You swim upwards towards the surface, feeling the more intense pull of the waves as you get closer and closer. Eventually, you push yourself upwards long enough to gain another breath before diving once more. As you continue to swim, you see this bright bolt of lightning flare above the ocean. As the lightning illuminates the space around you, you see the silhouette of a massive creature.
Oh, God.
The creature that had just torn apart the ship that was taking you to your new life is just a few hundred feet off. As you look towards it, it appears to be getting closer. Feeling the torrent of force it creates as it pushes itself through the brine. Without thinking, you feel your form turn and begin to swim, pushing yourself against it. You're desperate, not trying to leave Aramel, and you aren't ready to meet Mavis Crows yet. As you dive deeper into the Shalaran seas, what do you do?
God, if I look back over my shoulder at this thing, I think I know the answer to this, but is it like very obviously gaining on me?
You look back and at first you don't see anything behind you, but then you see that lightning illuminate the space around the ocean once more, and you see it has gained probably 100 feet.
Okay. Knowing that there's not a whole lot that she can do in this situation, this is very much outside of her realm of very limited expertise. She's going to, as she's like pushing herself through the water, trying as hard as she can to swim, just kind of close her eyes and send up a prayer to whoever could be listening. She's never necessarily but followed any of the gods. But in this moment, she hopes that one of them takes pity on her.
What do you ask?
Just save me. Please, please save me.
Ask for a persuasion check.
Oh. That one didn't do me so well last time. Let's go with this one. Persuasion?
Yes.
Okay, found it. 21.
Okay. You plead with the gods for help, hoping that they can hear you over this storm. You continue to dive downwards as you feel the presence of this entity gaining lots and lots of ground. The water around you beginning to boil. And despite your innate resistance to heat, you can feel blisters beginning to form on your body, the water surrounding you beginning to cook you. You scream in pain, the last of your air escaping as you feel the heat continuing to rise. While in the back of your mind, you are screaming at the gods for protection, to save you. You scream and yell, and the bubbles from your breath getting smaller and smaller as you begin to curl into a ball, your body unable to swim any longer. Your voice echoing in your mind, hoping your pleads won't go unanswered. You close your eyes in hopes that they have been heard. A second passes, and you open your eyes once more just to see as the mouth of this creature dives towards you. You think to yourself, this is it. I couldn't escape. And you try to prepare yourself to meet your end, just as its jowls beginning to close around you. You feel the water around you instantly cool as this mystical light blue energy swirls before you see something of a bright orange coloration surround you, just as the creature's mouth would have consumed. You can feel your body instantly relax as it begins to succumb to shock. You feel your eyes slowly fall closed as you realize one of the voices listened. Just as quickly as you closed your eyes to rest, your severely burned body, they open again. You're unsure of the time and how long has passed. The space around you is dark, but you can see you're encased in what looks to be some sort of sphere. You move towards it, realizing you're still in water. Then your mind begins to race. You can't breathe, you'll run out of air. You begin thrashing in the space, trying to get out. You bang your hands against the hard shell that encloses you. You scream and cry out for help, hoping that someone can hear, hoping that the god will take pity once more. But it doesn't help, so you sink to the bottom of this space. But throughout your adrenaline pumping, you hadn't realized what you realized as you hit the bottom of the sphere. You are breathing. You can breathe. But how can you breathe underwater? You've never been able to before. You also realize that your body is sore from past events. It doesn't hurt like it should. What do you do, Narissa?
Briefly, she's gonna check on her arms and her legs and see, like, if she's still as blistered as she remembers feeling.
You bring your hands into view, and you can see that where there should be burn marks, there are small little barnacles that have grown in their place. You look to your legs. While looks to be scorched holes in your pants, there too are small little barnacles growing where there would have been burn marks. And you feel towards your face, and you can feel on your very high cheekbones that there too are barnacles growing.
And this, the shell shows, like, it hasn't, like, changed at all since I've opened my eyes.
No, it has not changed. But you do kind of notice as you're kind of orienting yourself to the space that it looks to be made of some sort of coral-like material. You can see that there are branches kind of lightly shooting off from it. Yeah.
How big is it in comparison to me?
You have about 5 feet of movement between yourself and the wall.
Okay, cool. God, everything is so much more stressful once it's actually going. She's going to swim up to the side of it and very gently knock on it and just be like, is it safe? Can I go?
You knock on it, and you kind of just listen to hear if whatever entity had saved you from this creature will respond back. And just as you think that they won't respond, you hear just the smallest little tapping back on the outside of the shell.
Hello?
You tap back and say hello, and you can hear you hear one more tap, and then you hear like probably like half a dozen more kind of in that same kind of area. Before you realize, like right in front of you where you had tapped before, there looks to be like a small little crack.
In her head, she's like, oh God, I'm a chicken coming out of an egg. I'm a chicken fetus. And she's having a little bit of like an identity crisis about it.
And as you're kind of thinking, and just doing this for a second, you kind of look up, and out of your peripheral, you can see that there's now like a little like hole in the side of this sphere that encases you. And you look out, and you can see just a very small little pink and orange little seahorse.
Oh, that's so cute. She's gonna reach out like very slowly towards it.
As you do, you can see the cracks in the shell begin to widen and go around before eventually all the coral that surrounds you kind of just falls in place. And as you're kind of reaching out towards the seahorse and the shell that encased you falls, you can see that there's about a dozen more of a similar coloration of seahorses just just kind of surrounding you, and they kind of all group up kind of around your hand as you reach out.
She's gonna kind of just like move her hands through them, like she's trying to pet all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And just very, very quietly, just little guys.
And yeah, as you kind of move your hand through the one that like you had first seen, kind of just from its snout, kind of like blows a little bubble towards you. And once it kind of reaches kind of your ears, you can hear, "Hello, hello."
We can fucking talk. Oh, hello. Okay. Thank you for getting me out of that.
Of course, Soraya, she brought us to you.
I assume that just in general she would have heard of Soraya. Cool.
Yeah, you know the gods' names, so.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank her. Thank all. Beautiful.
Oh, thank you. You are too.
Sure. Is the creature gone?
Yeah.
Okay. What happened?
I'm not sure what happened exactly. Soraya just said that you needed protection and to come when it was away.
I love this seahorse so much. It's so cute. My heart.
I had to give you something after that stressful intro.
Oh, thank you. This is just like everything I want to just hug them. I want to give each of them little individual smooches. Do you know where we are?
We're somewhere in the Shalaran Sea. About 10-ish miles off of where your ship went down.
Okay, so some distance is good, I think. Can you help me get to the surface?
And you see as kind of all of the seahorses kind of around you kind of swarm kind of near where your arms are, and they kind of just begin like helping you and like guiding you up towards the surface of the water. It takes roughly about half an hour to get up towards the surface, but eventually they kind of push you and you feel yourself against the tension of the water's surface, and you are able to breathe air again. And they kind of just wade kind of around you in the ocean.
As a test for this, if I say thank you to them above the water, do I hear them respond at all?
As you like ask them or you say thank you, you can see the bubbles kind of come up to the surface, but then they pop and you don't hear them.
I'm gonna duck my head back under and be like, thank you so much. You have been so helpful and sweet, and this is a lot to take in at once. When the hell did I learn how to talk to fish?
You can hear just like a few of them through the bubbles kind of just giggle.
The priorities. Thank you, you're very helpful, you're very cute. What the hell? I don't know what to do now. Is there something I can do to repay you, to repay Soraya?
Just make sure that the ocean is safe.
How do I make sure the ocean is safe?
Make sure that bad people who poach and take too much, taken care of. Just make sure it stays clean.
I can do that. I've always been pretty good at cleaning. Is there something that needs attention right away? Like, is there...
Not right away. I mean, I assume Soraya wants you to heal a little bit more.
Yeah, I guess I should probably rest. If I... Oh god, I'm really showing my whole ass here. If I, like, lay back and float and sleep,
Mm-hmm.
will you guys look after me and wake me up if there's trouble?
Mm-hmm. That's our job.
Oh, I will do anything for these seahorses. Oh my god. I've only just met them and I would kill anyone. Okay. Sleep sounds good. And she's gonna, like, starfish float. And just, like, the second she closes her eyes, she's out. Like, doesn't matter that she's in the middle of the ocean anymore. She's like, fuck this, I'm tired.
Putting all of your trust into these seahorses you have just met, but have seemed to protect you against this massive creature that has taken down a large mercantile ship. You lay back and rest. That's where we'll take a quick break. As you fall back and entrust your new swarm of seahorses to keep you protected, you close your eyes and fall asleep. Though it's not as restful as you hope. You have flashes back to the previous night, getting hit on the side of the ship, flying off, diving and being chased by a very massive creature that could probably only exist in this ocean. But eventually, you awake kind of almost in a panic as you see its jowls kind of enclose around you in your sleep. And you awake, and as you wake up, you feel something moving on your chest. And kind of you look down on your chest and you see there's like you can see there's a starfish on your shoulder and then a little crab on your chest.
Hello?
The crab just kind of waves its pinchers.
So you can understand me too. Okay, this is great. I'm the sea creature whisperer now. I love she just like waves at him again. Do you have a name, little guy?
He kind of like waves his pinchers in like a no manner.
Yeah,
he doesn't have a head.
He has little eyes. Jesus.
Okay, his little eyes. Yeah.
Oh my god, I love that. Mm-hmm. She's just gonna be like, I'm gonna call you Snappy, and she like puts her finger like out towards his claw, like it's gonna be a little handshake.
It gently reaches out towards your hand and like does a little handshake motion.
And how's the little starfish doing? Is he just chilling?
Just chilling. He's kind of like semi-submerged in the water.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Right
it's like a bright
on.
purple.
Love that. She's gonna just like very gently give him a little pet.
It's little I don't know if you'd call it, what would you call it? Its little limb just kind of like wraps around one of your fingers for a second.
He's like a boy. I have more friends. Okay.
And you see as the crab kind of walks down your body before like making itself as like a belt buckle.
Oh, what the fuck?
Kind of like it rests itself with its pinchers kind of above its like head and its belt buckle and kind of like sits still for a moment. You can almost see like the shift in like almost like blue ethereal like magic that you remember seeing before in the ocean. Swirls around it before it like almost begins to turn into like this bright blue metal.
She... Oh, I'm having way too much fun playing just an absolute dumbass. She's kind of like looking down at it, and she's just gonna like just really quickly poke it. Like,
You poke it, and it feels like metal. It's really weird. You just saw it walking and saying hi to you and pinching your finger, but now it's inanimate.
She's gonna dip her, like, turn her head so her ear is in the water, and she's gonna be like, am I hallucinating? Like, am I dehydrated? And I...
No, you're good. Yeah, that just happened.
Okay, cool. And she's gonna have that moment of, like, turns back, and as she's staring at it, just very confused, like, huh. Gods will be gods, I guess. And, while she's laying there and, like, contemplating the crazy thing that happened to her yesterday and the weird shit she just witnessed, she's gonna congratulate herself on not having a complete mental break. Turns out she's stronger than she thought. And then she's going to close her eyes and wanting to begin her repayment to Soraya. She's going to just send out another prayer to her, essentially being like, thank you so much for your help. I want to show you my appreciation. Tell me somewhere to go, something I can do. Just guide me in the right direction so that I can repay you.
Okay. You send out that message hoping it will reach Soraya's ears. And almost instantly you see as the water next to you, which has been very calm since you've awoken, kind of swells, kind of like how you would see in Moana. Swells, and you can hear this voice kind of, it's not like buoyant to anything. It's not the word that I would use, but okay. That's what came out of my mouth. It isn't attached to anything, but you hear this voice kind of echo in your mind. Narissa, I heard your prayers, and I just hope that you'll keep to a promise of keeping my oceans safe and clean. That's all I ask for repayment.
Yes, ma'am. And then in the back of her head, she's like, note to self, don't pee in the ocean.
I mean, the fish pee in the ocean all the time, it's okay.
Oh, you heard that.
The water kind of like, kind of comes back into the waves and then swells back up, almost like a nodding kind of a sensation.
Fair enough. Are there any, like, I don't know how to ask this. Are there any, like, immediate problems that need addressing? Is there, like, should I clean up the shipwreck? Or, like, is there someone who's, like, poaching up seahorses? Because I'll fuck them up.
No, the seahorses can take care of themselves. And Agai took the shipwreck with her.
Sorry, what name did you say?
Agai. A-A-G-I.
A-A-G-I? Where's my notebook?
You didn't expect more.
It's always nearby. Got it. That was like, I didn't know that. Gotta go. Okay. Seahorses can look after themselves. Aggie took the ship. Oh, okay.
But of immediate importance, Brine Light, which you've heard of before. Their port city has become very filled with chemical waste. Find its source.
I can do that. I will do that. I'll make you proud. She's like kind of saluting, but also being like, that's not what you do to a god, but also like, I don't know what else to do.
This is your first ever interaction with a god ever, and it's not what you would expect.
No. She's very like, I've never prayed before. I don't know what I'm. But yeah, just yeah, I'll take care of it.
Okay. Here's a last parting gift. You see as the ocean that swell of water mingles back with the ocean before swelling up again, but as you see it's beginning to swell, you see there's something like within inside of it, and you can see that there is this bow that's encased in like small little starfish and lichen, and there's barnacles growing on it.
She'll reach out and like very gently take it. Like she's there's a part of her that's a little bit terrified that like this goddess, despite helping her, is just gonna be like, jokes. And like, like this was all an elaborate prank. Look at the camera. Like so very gently she's reaching out and taking the bow.
You reach out and take the bow, and the grip feels almost perfect with yours.
She's gonna, pull back the string. She's testing it.
Just, sitting on like the open ocean, the seahorses are lifting like, you up.
Cross-legged on a bed of seahorses, just like, whoa. Oh yeah, that's nice. And talking to a swell of water.
Yeah.
This is like someone's fever dream.
You test out the bow and the string, and there was also a quiver there, which you probably also took. But by the time you kind of go back to like thank her once more, the swell of the water is gone, and it's just the calm ocean around you.
Okay, I have talked to a god. I've talked to a god. My sister's not gonna believe that. Okay. Do you guys know the way from here?
Mm-hmm.
Can you take me there?
Mm-hmm. You see as they kind of begin swarming around, like, around your legs so that they can, like, swim you there.
Yeah.
And it takes a little bit, but you eventually arrive in Brine Light. You figure out the mystery of this chemical spill. You learn of a... Let me find in the notes. You find that an older gentleman by the name of Rosin Dutz. Rosin is spelled Reozin. Dutz is Dutz.
Love it.
Who used to be an artificer there, had some sort of accident near the port when he was getting something shipped to him, and one of the vats of very dangerous chemicals spilled into the ocean. And while he was trying to clean it up, it seeped into some of the sea life there, kind of killing like the immediate kind of coral and fish and things around, but through the help of Soraya and kind of working kind of closely with Rayos and Dutz, you kind of both kind of figure out a way to naturally improve the sea life there.
Oh,
Absorb the chemicals.
Hell yeah.
So you would have the means in any sort of herbalism kit. You could create a way to help absorb any sort of kind of chemical spills or unnatural spills within the ocean. So you do gain an herbalism kit proficiency.
Ooh. Nice.
While you work with Rayozin, do you try to get to know him? Anything like that?
Oh yeah. I'm I'm very charismatic.
Okay, yeah. You spend many like kind of later nights kind of working alongside him, trying to really understand what all of the little trinkets and odds and ends and tools that he works with actually do. But it's very, you don't get the hang of it. You can get the hang of like the nature side of the things that you are putting forth. But throughout, you do learn that he used to have an apprentice who worked there, whose parents still live in Brine Light. His parents specifically work at the ancient dig site that's kind of like 5 miles outside of like the port city. And he works alongside them as well, kind of helping to restore different ancient artifacts that have been discovered there.
That's very cool.
Yeah. He never mentions this apprentice by name, or his parents by name either, but kind of just alludes to the fact that he's like very like sore about losing his apprentice to whatever they went off to go do. You also do learn during that time, it probably would have been about like 3 to 4 weeks, almost a month-ish, kind of there in Brine Light, that the ancient city is believed to be like an ancient Genasi city that used to live during the time with the Elder Beings, which is something that was even before most life came to Aramel.
Gotcha. That's very cool. At some point while she's there, she's probably gonna go check out this place a little bit. She's gonna be like, ooh.
Yeah. You have plenty of time kind of like in between Rayos and kind of just, you know, tinkering with things and trying to figure out other things to help kind of like absorb the chemicals that are there. You have definitely a lot of time to go off and sneak towards the ancient dig site. For the most part, it's actually heavily guarded. They don't want like outsiders kind of going through and kind of like messing things up. But you can definitely see from what you can see, it's like, it's this very flat space, and you can see about like what looks to be like maybe like a fifth of it has been uncovered and dug up. And it looks to almost be like a very circular city, and looks to be made with very large, like sandstone, but like more of like a slightly gray coloration walls that kind of make up what looks to almost be like a labyrinth. And then there's like places where it's like a lot thicker, where you could assume that there's probably housing and things.
Very cool. Because she's a snoopy little shit. She's gonna also, assuming at some point during this month that she's figured out how to make her animals into jewelry and out of jewelry.
Oh yeah.
It probably took her a few days. She's not the brightest, but there was a point where she sat down and was like, okay, how do I do this?
Yeah.
And knowing now how to do it at the edge of this ancient city, she's going to bring out Snappy.
Okay.
And send him in to like get some intel.
Okay. Let me grab 5e stats.
She's not gonna send him, like, to be clear, not like deep into it. Like,
yeah.
she doesn't want to send him into like certain death.
Mhm.
But just like close enough that she can get more of an idea of like what this place might have been like, or like what kind of people are working there, if she can hear some gossip.
Okay, yeah.
Or if he can hear some gossip,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean. Like that kind of stuff. Like he's not actively going like right into a group of people and being like, yeah.
What's the goss, my man?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I'll ask for just a general stealth check. Roll a d20 and add +2.
D20 +2. I can do that. 16.
Okay, good. And then make a perception check, which is a d20 -1.
Uh-oh. 17.
Nice, nice.
That dice has rolled 18 twice now. Hello, critical roll.
So, Snappy's fairly kind of like almost is able to kind of like shift his color to match kind of like the sand and kind of area around, so that he can stealth a bit more easily through this terrain. How long do you kind of wait until you kind of like call Snappy back?
Like 15 to 20 minutes. Like she's not sending him in for a long time. She's just curious if he'll find anything like relatively close by.
Yeah. And about 15 minutes, 20 minutes goes by before Snappy kind of begins skittering back and changes into his like natural blue form. But you kind of get the information that there is a couple who kind of like heads everything. They're talking about this secret room that they just found that has this very long corridor, and they can't figure out how to get into it. That was kind of like the gist of kind of how much he could like get in that time.
Okay. Oh, this is like, you know when you watch like old cartoons and someone wants to make a horse go and they put like the carrot on the rod in front of it?
Mm-hmm.
This feels like that. I'm just like, ooh, if I go to this, is it gonna be anything? Or is it just something to drink? Like something shiny, you know? Okay, she is going to...
Can I get Narissa just to make a stealth check?
Oh yeah. I'm decent at those. The third 18, 22.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to kind of make sure that you stay hidden behind like some of like the old walls that kind of are up on like the top layer. So you aren't kind of like you're staying hidden away from like the guards that kind of patrol the area.
Perfect. She I have to. I'm too easy. I'm too easy. She's gonna wait until it is dark and most people aside from probably the guards have like gone to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And she's gonna see if she can find this secret room that they can't figure out, because she wants to know if her dumbass can figure it out.
Okay. Okay, go ahead and make another stealth check.
I can do that. Not as good. 14.
Okay. You kind of, after that, you went back, helped Reyes with whatever he needed, and then came back kind of like about an hour or two after dark. You're kind of hiding kind of behind that same wall, and you see kind of like an opening to like kind of find your way towards closer towards the ancient city, and you take it. You're able to make it past one of the guards that kind of you've been kind of like listening in, and he's very heavily probably getting drunk as he's taking watch, so you're able to sneak by. I rolled a natural 1.
Narissa thinks she is killing it. Like, it has nothing to do with how bad the guard might be doing, it has everything to do with how good she's doing.
Oh yeah. But yeah, you sneak past and you kind of get to that first part where you saw a lot of like people kind of like going down and kind of like coming back out of during your kind of like watch. You see immediately that there's like a few tables set up with different like very similar to kind of like the items that Ryozin uses in his shop. You also see different kind of like journals kind of set there. Yeah.
Sorry, you said journals? She is definitely gonna take a quick, like, only the first, like, 5 pages of the journal. Just make sure it's actually about this place and not, like...
Yeah, you skim through the first 5 pages. This journal looks to be like the very first journal written about this place. It's all about the very early beginnings of unearthing it.
Perfect. Seeing that it is very much like, yes, this is about the dig site, it's not anything fucking weird that's just been left here. She's like, alright, cool, leaves it. Keeps trying to, or I guess, she will flip to the end really quickly, like wherever it's kind of finished up what they've written so far, and see if it says where the entrance to this secret place is.
You kind of flip towards the end, and it looks to be, the very end looks to be like a map of the area, and you do see it has different like points in which it shows kind of where there's different things that they've found, but it doesn't look like the secret room is located on this map that they have drawn in here.
Is there anything on the map that would be my brain is only landing on the word suspicious, and that's not the right word,
okay.
But you know what I mean.
Make an investigation check for me.
Okay. Not great at those, but I, for once in my life, have a +1 in it, so we take that. That was a 14.
Okay. Looking over this map, a lot of it seems to be, written in a language that you don't know. So you can't really determine whether or not there's anything that like super peeks out at you.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, she'll close it, make sure it's sitting exactly how she found it.
Okay, just roll me a d20 for that.
Oh god. 12.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind. This is the wording that catches everybody else up.
It's like I have like rolling for I'm immediately sweaty. Like I was already like mildly sweaty because I'm like wearing a sweater and it's warmer than I thought it would be. But like the immediate sweat that just happened was ungodly.
Now you understand Star's stress all the time.
Oh yeah. It's the best kind of stress. Okay, she's just gonna keep kind of heading in where she saw a lot of people going before. Yeah, just following like well-traveled paths and stuff, seeing what she can see.
Okay, yeah. You kind of follow well-traveled paths, and kind of towards the end of the first one that you go down, you come into this like larger courtyard area that looks to have like a broken down, may have been like a fountain of some sort. You do see kind of like jutting up from the middle of where it is, there looks to be like a broken statue. And the very beginning of it looks almost like like a coiled snake. But like the way that the statue is, it looks very large. But most of it seems to be broken. Like you don't see the head of the snake, you just see the like the very end of the tail, and it looks like it has this like very long and barbed tail.
Out of curiosity, would it be similar to the tail of the creature that she just ran away from not too long ago?
Make an intelligence check.
Just a general intelligence check?
Just general.
Okay. We're gonna use the bullet dice for that one. I'm
sorry, you cut off at the beginning?
14.
Okay. It doesn't look like the tail that you saw. Kind of thinking back, you do know that based on the information you heard earlier about this probably being like an old Genasi ancient city, may have been a statue of one of the elder evils. Specifically, sorry, I have to find that. I wasn't expecting you to go into the city, even though I probably should have. You know.
That's okay. Look, if I can, you make me sweat, I make you sweat.
Okay, something known as the Zlarvurm Night, which is that's like an ancient Genasi. It's spelled ZLAVURM, and then night as in like the night sky.
Gotcha.
Which it's a pretty well known elder evil, but it's this very long, probably depicted as like a 300-foot long serpent with a very long, almost 3-pronged barbed tail. So it looks like, from what you can see of the statue, there's only one of the prongs. And it is also very widely known that it is the creature that blinded Adil, the goddess of law and justice.
Of law and justice, you said?
Correct.
Beautiful.
And Adil is spelled E-D, or not E, A-D-E-E-L.
I hate, my brain just went to Del Nazim.
I realized that after I made the lore.
I love that. Okay. If she goes and like checks out the statue, can she see where like the other 2 prongs on the tail would have broken off?
Make an investigation check.
Oh, that's a 10.
Yeah, it's fairly easy check.
Yeah.
But you can kind of see where like one of them wrapped kind of like around, and then one of them like straight like broke off, and you can see where it kind of ends there.
Cool. Okay. This is so cool. I'm having so much fun.
You've gotten more lore than anybody else.
Look, sometimes you gotta be a snoopy little shit. Okay. She's gonna, like, look around the fountain and the statue and see if there's anything hinting at a hidden room.
Okay, make an either another investigation or perception check, depending on what you're doing.
I'm better at perception. But can I make perception make sense?
I mean, if you're kind of just looking around, you aren't touching anything, that would be perception. But if you're like you're like touching things, trying to find stuff, that would be investigation.
Yeah, she's not like touching anything, just like looking around, seeing if there's anything that like stands out to her, essentially.
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay. This dice is not doing so hot right now. 13? 13.
As you kind of look around this space, it doesn't seem like this is where the secret room is. There isn't like any hidden handles, levers. It doesn't look like there's anything that could be pushed in as like a button or an activation device. Seems like you're probably in the wrong area.
Cool. At this point, how long has she probably been like in these ruins looking around?
Probably about an hour or so.
Okay. She's kind of trying to keep track of how, like, obviously not specifically, it's not like she has like a pocket watch she's looking at. But she wants to make sure that she's gonna have enough time to get back for like helping out in the morning.
Yeah.
So she's just kind of keeping an eye on the sky, making sure it doesn't start getting light out. Because if it starts to get light out, she's gonna run back home. Well, home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, as you kind of are like kind of ending this kind of like survey of this immediate area, you kind of see down one of like the hallways that leads to this courtyard. You do see that there's like this light that's kind of coming forward, almost like torchlight.
Is it like swaying like someone's walking with it.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay. She's going to you said the fountain's kind of broken.
Mm-hmm.
Was it like a fancy fountain? Like it had like a statue in the middle and like the little walls? Okay. She's gonna go up behind whatever remains of the statue and like contort herself into the same shape. And like just fully trying to pull like making the same shape as the statue to not be seen, but because it's broken, she has to contort herself into the weirdest fucking shape. But she's dexterous, so
Go ahead and make a stealth check. Shit.
That's how I know I did something good is when I make you laugh like that. I'm like, yeah. That would be a natural 20.
Okay.
For a total of 24, just to make that clear.
Okay. You will kind of watch, you can kind of like see out of like just a small little like broken bit in the statue that allows you to see across. You see as that torchlight comes closer, and you see this this human man, kind of like probably in like his mid-50s or so, kind of like salt and pepper hair, but he kind of approaches, and he looks to have like a notebook in his hand, and he's kind of like, you can hear him kind of like mumbling to himself, as he's kind of like carrying the torchlight into this area.
From my incredibly ridiculous position, can I see if it's the same notebook that I saw earlier?
He's too far away at this time to like kind of see, and he's kind of like carrying it like this, like his hand's kind of covering most of what it is.
Yeah.
But it does look to be like a smaller leather bound journal, which the one at the beginning kind of was the same.
Okay. So at least like the same kind of journal, if not necessarily the same one. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, she's gonna stay pressed against that broken statue in whatever ridiculous fucking acrobatic shit she has pulled, and let him get closer so that she can try and make out what he's mumbling.
Okay, yeah. You actually kind of see from like that small vantage point, he like approaches the fountain and kind of sits down where like the edge of the fountain would be, kind of like how people would, but like he like brings his feet kind of like into where the water used to have been.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like you to make a perception check.
Okay. Rolling that same dice, because that one did good. You said perception, right?
Yes.
Dirty 20.
Okay. As you're kind of listening in, I also want you to make just a constitution check to see how long you can stay in this position.
Oh, I'm not good at those.
Yourself at.
Constitution. No, that's a 12. It was almost another dirty 20. It paused on that 19 and then said nah.
Yeah. So you're kind of listening in, you can kind of feel like you're up on one leg and like trying to like contort yourself, and you can feel that your leg is kind of like wiggling, and you can feel the pressure that's building on like that knee that's supporting all your weight. But as you're kind of listening, you kind of hear him mumbling. He seems to be kind of going on kind of like a rant of like trying to figure out where this room is, what's going on with it. Is it the same room that you can't really make out the name, or even if he says a name, but if it's the same room that they found earlier, or that the apprentice was talking about. Yeah, that's kind of the gist of the conversation. You kind of do hear the word, like, maybe he wasn't crazy.
I have so many theories on who this apprentice was. Okay. Oh god.
You can feel your leg kind of like shaking a bit more.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. She is banking thanking Soraya for the gift of strength that she has, and also cursing her for not quite making it strong enough, but very much in a joking tone, so that if Soraya is listening, she knows that it's not legit.
Okay.
She's not trying to incur the wrath of the god that just helped her. Okay. Knowing that she's probably not going to be able to stay in this position for much longer, she's going to release Snappy again.
Okay.
To distract this man so that she can move and try to, like, hide somewhere else.
Okay. Hey, what do you command Snappy to do? Exactly. How is Snappy distracting?
He's gonna be chill. He's not like, again, she's not trying to get this crab killed. She loves this crab. So she's gonna send him out so that he, like, walks up next to the guy on, like, the edge of the like, fountain wall, and is just, like, just sitting there being, like, cute and weird and, like, trying to get this guy to, like, look at him and pay attention to him so that she can, like, go around the other side without being seen.
Okay. You send Snappy out and kind of, like, goes and tugs at this man's kind of pant leg. He says,
Mhm.
hello, little guy, and kind of just goes back to his work, kind of mumbling, still to himself, trying to figure out in his head kind of where this room may be. I will say at this point, you feel yourself kind of, like, beginning to lean towards that way.
Oh.
At this point, I'd like you to make just a dex save, just to see if you can, like, catch yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I am good at those. Not if I roll a 2. That's a 9 total.
You feel yourself moving that way, and before you can, like, get yourself and, like, grab onto the statue, you feel yourself just plummet and gravity takes full force, and you just plummet onto the ground and you, like, yelp out, like, ow! Yep, kind of as you hit the ground. You can see as you kind of look up and around from the statue, you can see the man kind of, like, poke his head. What are you doing here? Who are you?
What are you doing here? Who are you?
I work here. I know that you don't.
I was sent out to see if I could help with the secret room.
By who?
What's his name? The guy?
Raisin?
Yeah.
Why would Raisin send you?
Because I've been helping him for the last month, and he thought that maybe a new perspective could be helpful.
That's surprising, considering he doesn't know about the secret room yet.
Oh, shit.
It's okay, though. Come here. He gets up and puts the book back in, like, kind of like he has, like a holster side bag, kind of like how Vikings did. And, like, puts his journal back and kind of goes over and kind of helps you up. So, what's your name?
Penelope.
I don't think that's it.
That wasn't even, like, roll a deception check. It's like, nah, you're just bad. It's Narissa.
Hello, Narissa. My name is Merlin.
Merlin?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Merlyn.
Getting spicy. I like it.
Yeah, so spicy. This average white dude with a Y instead of an I.
Lovely to meet you, Merlin. I'm sorry it is like this, because I know it makes me look bad.
Okay, many teens sneak in to see what we've uncovered.
Not a teen, but I'll take it as a compliment.
I mean, you look fairly young, but old enough to be kind of like in that 18, 19 range.
Oh my god, thank you.
Okay. Yep. Well, let's get you home. So that you can help Reyes in the morning and not be tired and maybe, spill chemicals all over yourself or something and burn your skin.
I've been through worse.
Okay. What's on your minds, Narissa?
I'm just very curious about this. I'm not gonna lie to you.
How about I give you an item and I'll keep you updated after you make your way from Brimelight, considering Rayozin's almost done with that device.
I'll take it.
Merlin kind of escorts you out of the dig site, making sure that you don't touch anything else. Like, anytime you go to touch something, he, smacks your hand away, and it's like, no. Kind of like how, a dad would, act in a museum.
Yep.
It's like, don't touch that. That's too precious. Don't. You'll ruin my research, is basically what he goes on and on about. But you come to this, this coastside home. Looks to be made of, very, looks to be, not, built by contractors, but probably by Merlin himself. But it's a nice enough home, painted this bright ocean blue, thatch roof and everything. Brings you in and kind of shuffles through some of the things in the first kind of entry den area, and brings out this little chest and hands you a small stone that has engravings on it.
An ascending stone? Oh my god, am I getting a ascending stone?
You're getting a ascending stone with Merlin.
I'm just... Hang on. Oh no, that was bad.
Now, please do not bug me in the middle of the night with this, because I will not respond to you.
That is fair and valid, and I will respect that boundary.
Cool.
And she's gonna tuck it in her little her little bag. And as she does that, brain, catch up to me, please. She's gonna be like, so is there a last name that goes with that, or just Merlin? Is it Merlin? Are you embarrassed about your last name?
I'm most definitely not embarrassed about my last name. My last name is Barker.
Fucking knew it. Fucking knew it. Oh my god, that's gonna be so funny.
Yeah.
They just sending stone and be like, oh my god, Merlin!
And Barney's what the fuck?
I can't wait. Oh, that's gonna be no. Lovely. Okay. Well, it's Narissa Crestwell, just so that we're on equal footing.
A Darren Crathian name.
Yes. How do you know that?
My family's originally from there.
Oh. Fun.
You could say so. I didn't particularly enjoy it, but...
I mean, neither did I, but that's besides the point. More just fun as in fun circumstance that we both happen to be from there, not as in fun like the place is fun.
Yeah, I mean, Aramel is a lot smaller than people like to imagine it is.
I guess that is true, huh? It feels so big when you're stuck somewhere so small.
It does. But you should go home because my wife Cordelia is sleeping.
Cordelia is a beautiful name.
Thank you, I'll let her know of it. You said that.
And she looks him up and down for a second and is like, I'm sure she's beautiful. Just straight up, she's like, I'll just small flirt, not a legit flirt, but a compliment.
I wouldn't have married her either way. Or I would have married her, not would have, wouldn't have. Ugh, words.
That's so sweet.
Okay, you can go now. And kind of just begins pushing you out the door.
Okay, yes, I will. Just last question, I promise.
You're kind of like outside the door and he's ready to slam it in your face. Yes.
Just if I don't reach out to you, how often should I roughly expect to hear from you before I assume it's an emergency?
I don't know how often I'll be reaching out. Just assume if you don't hear from me within the next, year, maybe you should reach out. I'm pretty busy with that big ancient dig site that, is bringing a lot of very, very important intel to people in Aramel. So
That is entirely fair, and I mean absolutely no disrespect by asking anything. I just, if you've been kind, and I want to return that kindness if the time comes to it.
no. Assume if you don't hear from me in the next year, it's an emergency. Whatever's being held within that secret room or something, if anything is been let out and, just kills me.
Lila, you son of a bitch.
It could be nothing.
It could be nothing, but that doesn't mean I'm not.
You see the stress I cause people?
Oh, he should be very glad that sending stones can't act like an answering machine, because she would once a month just be like, "Hey, just checking in, making sure you're alive."
I mean, in my world, it depends on who made it. Does.
That's true.
If they're that technically advanced in magic, it can be an answering machine.
That is true. Okay, understanding that she has definitely pushed her luck in this entire situation, she will leave.
Okay.
And as she gets out of the dig site, she will pull out the sending stone and just really quickly being like, testing, just making sure it works.
Yep, I can hear you. Can't call me until the next dawn.
And she tucks it away.
So you can add a sending stone to your inventory, and make sure you note that it goes to Merlin Barker.
I fucking knew it. I was like, it's either going to be Ether or Vernon. I think it's going to be one of their parents.
You kind of spend the after that. There's 3 more days until you and Rayozen have finalized a design on this device, and it allows you to help keep the port there in Brimelight clean and safe for the wildlife there. And you gain that knowledge on how to naturally fix that as well.
Bitchin'.
Yeah, you spend the next kind of following 8 or so months kind of making sure that poachers are, taken care of in any means that Narissa feels and chooses to do. You help clean up any kind of very bad trash in an area. You kind of help animals get free of netting that have been stuck there. Anything like that's been lost to the ocean. You do end up making kind of a small homestead that you kind of can go back to in what is known as the Shawheller Trench. You kind of you live kind of on the very south end of it, a very coral filled space that you live in. You come back and kind of just bring whatever trinkets you find along the way, and all of your swarms can kind of just rest for a bit there. And then there's one day, you're just kind of sitting there, kind of exploring, gathering food, whatnot, to be able to survive. I'd like you to make a perception check.
Ooh. That's fun. Perception. Ooh, 23.
Okay. As you're kind of gathering your food and any kelp to make anything that you absolutely need, to help with binding your arrows to the sticks. In kind of the northern distance, you can hear this very long and high-pitched scream. like the screech. And after about like 3 to 6 seconds, it stops, but it like catches your eye. You've never heard something like that piercingly loud while you've lived kind of like here in the trench.
Immediately I am going to gather my seahorse friends.
You kind of see as they've all been kind of like off on their own in their own little schools. Kind of as soon as you like command it, they kind of rush up to you. How can we help? How can we help?
All right, little friends. That was a weird sound, and I don't trust it. I'm gonna get you to help me get over there.
Okay. Oh yeah, of course. And you see as they kind of like all kind of surround you and kind of like begin helping you swim and push yourself over that way. You reach a part of the trench that kind of diverges into two, and there is this large kind of like rock formation kind of in the center that diverges it, and then it comes back and meets around the edge. You are kind of like hidden along like one of the like rocks that jut out on the side of the trench, and you kind of look and you see down that there is this large, almost like looks to be like a shark skeleton that has been somewhat animated. And then you can also see a shoagin, which is a fish-like humanoid that lives within the trench, that you've kind of like you've interacted with before. You kind of traded some things probably in the past. Looks to be like some sort of priestess or something like that. And then there looks to be like a dwarven man in front of her, and like goes and attacks her, and you can see as her form kind of like begins to kind of like float in the water as this green-blue kind of blood begins to form around her, and you see as this shark skeleton that 4 different people are like surrounding and trying to hurt. There's a fire genasi, a human girl, air genasi, and then also I believe a pink tiefling. All kind of surrounding it, and as the Showagan kind of begins floating in the air, what you assume to be dead, this shark undead skeleton like kind of clambers to the ground and creates this big puff of sandy smoke kind of around, and then it begins to kind of shift down and settle.
Out of general curiosity, would this priestess have been someone that Narissa has interacted with specifically, or just like one that she just recognizes based on what they look like in terms of like what they are, but not
you
like
recognize what they are. You haven't necessarily like interacted with this specific priestess before.
Gotcha. Okay. Narissa is not necessarily trustful of these people who have just killed someone who comes from the waters, so she's gonna stay kind of hidden but keep an eye on them to see if they're continuing a path of like destroying oceanic life, or if it was just like a fight that they had to do for themselves to stay alive.
You kind of you stay and watch, and you're staying hidden here. You watch as after that, they kind of all begin to kind of collect themselves before they all kind of disperse. And you see 2 other figures who kind of you didn't see previously. They're probably hidden by the trench wall. A blue tiefling has like seaweed wrapped in her horns, as well as a human man, probably around 30 or so. But you kind of see as they all kind of begin to disperse and kind of like investigate the area. You do see kind of like in the middle there looks to be this large brass like canister with looks to be like a broken, almost kind of like a light bulb at the edge, and kind of hidden in the seaweed where you can see down, it looks to be like open up in the middle. And then you also see there's another few other like vats and things with broken glass around. You see as the pink tiefling, the fire genasi, and the human girl all kind of form towards where those vats are before this bright, blinding light shoots out in like a 10-foot radius around them. And it takes about half a minute before the light dims, and what is like replaced there, instead of the pink tiefling, there looks to be like a small something floating in the air, like in the water, before it comes down to sift in the ground. And kind of everyone like almost begins to swarm. You can't hear what they're saying at this distance. But the human girl seems to be like very, very worried and like trying, like almost out of it, kind of in a shock.
Narissa is going to look at her little seahorse friends, and she's going to go, Cove.
Yeah.
Can you swim closer and listen in and come back and tell me what you hear?
Yeah, I can do that.
Thank you.
You see, she kind of she begins swimming closer over towards this kind of group of people. After a bit, you see both of the humans, the girl and the man, begin kind of like swimming up, kind of like closer towards where the surface of the water would be. So you kind of hide in like the brush of seaweed that's there to make sure that like you weren't seen. And that's kind of when Cove comes back, kind of after they've begun darting off. She explains that they were kind of like arguing over trying to find a clue, and that one of their companions, Marin, had like disappeared in that blinding light, and they don't know where she went. And then the man, the human man, and the girl split off because he was a little bit worried about her. And then the dwarven man who you had seen before kill the Shawagin priestess had told them that they needed to keep investigating the area.
Gotcha. She's going to listen to Cove very intently, and then as she finishes everything she heard, she's going to be like, okay. In your opinion, little Cove, did they sound like a threat, or do they just sound like people who are coming through?
It for the most part seems like they're just coming through. It looks like they were trying to find something. It looks like the man who went off with the redheaded girl seemed to have found it, but then the dwarven man took it away. It was a piece of paper in a box. Couldn't really understand what it said.
It's okay. Thank you for your hard work, Cove.
Of course.
And Narissa will like lean forward and give her tiny little seahorse forehead a smooch. Yeah. These are very much her children at this point.
Yeah.
She loves them.
For sure. And after you give the small little kiss, you see she takes her snout and kind of like just puts it up against your nose for a second before blowing a cute little bubble.
Yeah.
And then swarming back up with the seahorse swarm.
Okay. Out of all of them, the only one that Narissa seems weary of at this point is the dwarf. She does not trust this dwarf. So she will swim closer, but she's staying like very much under the water, not trying to like introduce, like she's not trying to like pop her head out and be like, hey guys, I'm here, but she's like trying to get closer and see if she can pick up on anything. If they're all on the boat, she'll definitely be like barnacling herself to the boat.
Yeah, so it looks like the redheaded girl and the human man all kind of they began swimming up towards the surface of the ocean. You aren't sure where to, and then the rest of the group, the blue tiefling, the fire genasi, air genasi, and the dwarven man have all stayed down here. Looks like the dwarven man's kind of like commanding them, like telling them what to go and investigate and whatnot, while he kind of just sits against that large kind of brass canister as everyone kind of investigates the area. You do eventually see like the blue tiefling goes off towards this the bow of like a broken pirate ship and like goes in.
Interesting. What did you find in there, Star? I must know.
And then about 5 minutes later, both the air and fire genasi go up towards the bow of that ship and go back. It takes them about like 10 minutes before they all kind of like go out, and you see the blue tiefling is like this, being held and swam by the two Genasi people over towards the Dwarvish man.
Star told me she got paralyzed. I forgot about that. Under her breath, Nerissa's just gonna be like, rookie mistake.
And you also see kind of like this very like, it's very, very faint, but this very, very almost not opaque, but very translucent kind of hand of like a orange coloration, kind of just tapping the tiefling. Kind of anytime they go like backwards, it pushes them back up.
I love that so much. Oh my god, that's so dumb. Oh, poor Star. Oh my god, that's so good. Once they've kind of gotten far enough away from this ship, it's a wrecked ship, you said? Like it's underwater?
Yeah, it's the ship that they went and investigated. It's just the bow of the ship. Everything else seems to be gone. Yeah. This is very, very far away from where your ship went down. This is like probably like 1,500 miles.
Yeah. Once they're like far enough away from it that she's not worried about being seen, she's going to go in and just kind of like look around and see if there's anything that like she's trying to figure out why they wanted to investigate it.
Yeah.
If there's anything left behind that would like give her any clues to that.
Yeah, so you kind of watch as they all kind of gather. They pass some things, you aren't really sure what they are, to each other, before swimming back up, kind of up towards where the two had already split. And you kind of swim around, being very sneakily and going into that, the bow of that like broken ship. And very quickly you see that they're, the only thing that kind of would look of any interest looks to be a room that's very kind of like is very broken, but has a treasure chest that's opened in it, but it looks to be very empty. So you can sense in the air that there's like some sort of it's not like clean. It's very much like there was some sort of chemical, acid, or poison that was released fairly recently.
Okay. She will take a moment with her herbalism kit and see if she can create essentially like a similar thing to what they would have used before, but just something that she can leave and will slowly kind of clean that up for her.
Yeah,
like
of
a
course.
little,
Easy
like,
enough
herb
to do.
bowl.
Yeah, you have all of the components you would need to do that. You kind of assemble it and kind of leave it kind of like tied to the leg of the what looks to be used to have been caught, but has like been fairly destroyed. You kind of tie it to there, and it kind of, you can almost see like the like very faint green like shift in the air, kind of being drifted towards that.
Perfect. She'll like start to swim out from the ship, and she'll like give it a little pat as she leaves, like you did your job, you did good, this isn't your fault. A small appreciation for the ship that tried.
Yeah.
And then she'll kind of just slowly kind of make her way towards the people who were there, but again, staying far enough away that like she's not trying to make herself known.
Yeah, of course. You can see kind of off in the distance, very far up, kind of like probably about like halfway from the trench to the surface of the water, that group of 4. You don't see the group of 2 anymore at this point, but you begin following. That's where we're going to go ahead and end the session. So thank you all for tuning in to this session and episode 5 of the Portent Kast, with a one-on-one with Helen. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in, and may the dice guide you to beautiful friendships.